In a world ruled by communists, only one man could save the United States, but he's gone. And now it's his son.
Wait.
The Son of Rambow.
What the hell is this?
It's awesome. That's what
man,
it is.
You got this. Did you see the same movie? You said you saw this, and this ain't the movie I saw.
I saw the
He
movie.
must be start reviewing movies Leon style to take a nap halfway through. Okay, look, that's not what this movie's about at all.
It's not.
This is actually a surprisingly charming little English film about a small, young, as far as I'm concerned, emotionally abused child because he comes from a family of, I don't even know, some religious group that are like the Quakers or
Exactly,
Puritans
some
or
sort of
something.
Amish type deal.
Yeah, exactly. And he meets the local
Puritans.
bully kid and kind of gets sucked into his world, and they become friends. And the kid, who's never seen a movie or a TV show in his life, watches over the shoulder, sort of like from a high place, Rambo: First Blood, the first movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just First Blood.
First Blood.
Yeah.
First Blood, yeah.
Who the kid like illegally bootlegs at theaters for his older brother. And he just goes crazy. He's like, that's it. I mean, if you had only seen one movie in your life, as like never seen anything, and it was a good movie like that, yeah, you'd probably be all about that shit too.
Yeah, no.
So he sets out to make his own movie called Son of Rambow.
Yes.
Which is about the son of Rambo kicking commie ass, right?
Well, it's hard to say what it's about. It's definitely the mind of I guess he's like 8 years old or something
Yeah.
in here. Just with where you go with that, there's a flying dog and.
No, they totally just let loose in this movie, man. That they do. I mean, they're kind of just making up shit as they go along.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and by the way, when they spell it, it's Son of Rambow. It's Rambow.
That's because he
doesn't know.
He doesn't see how it's actually spelled because
never
they
sees
just
the
refer to him
opening
as
credits.
Rambo in the movie. No, this movie is incredibly sweet. What works in this film is it's all about these two boys who never should have gotten together becoming friends. It's the typical, one kid from the wrong side of the tracks and the one kid who's, way too cloistered, and they get together and they decide to make this film together, and it's really sweet and it's really adorable, but most of all, it's really funny.
Yeah, no, it has a lot of imagination. It has a lot of. I know. I'm so nervous right now. No, it has the movie is very imaginative. It's got a great visual style because the two directors that did this. Now I don't know their real names, but they are video directors who go by Hammer and Tongs. And they've done some very creative videos in the past. I remember they did a Blur video with a walking milk carton at one time, and it was one of the best things I'd seen at that time.
Which is weird because this isn't like what I would say, visually inventiveness being its strongest point. It's such a good story and it's so well acted.
Well, no, it's these two characters. I mean, because you got two characters who couldn't be more different from each other. You have this one Puritan kid who, as you said, has just not been exposed to the world very much.
Yeah.
And you got this one kid. I'm sorry, he's gonna kill somebody when he grows up. He's on his way to jail.
Yeah.
But his only creative outlet is to get into this movie contest at the moment. So those two combined together, as they build a friendship, you can't help but feel very, very, I don't know, as they were becoming closer and closer, I almost was brought to tears at how they just learned to get along with each other.
Yeah, and it's funny because I avoided this movie at first because I'm not the world's biggest Rambo fan. All right, so I'm like, yeah, whatever.
You quit lying.
But it's not. No, I'm not. I really never really cared for that whole killing commies thing. Just not my thing.
Just cut your nuts off and
More into killing
mail them in,
fascists
man.
and the Klan, the commies. I'm still not sure about, but either way, it's not about that at all. It's about children and their imagination and about friendship when you're a kid. And it's one of the best movies I've ever seen about this sort of thing. I would actually put it up there with Stand By Me in that same genre and that same type of film, and it's as good as that.
You think so?
Yeah, no, this is a fantastic little film.
Because
really
I thought
enjoyed it.
I saw it as more of a fantasy than something like Stand By Me. The cool thing about the movie is that I don't know why. I guess because of Rambo, the subject of First Blood being the main thing there, they decided to put the movie in the 80s. And that's what I mean by visual also, not just the effects that they have in there, but it was just something fun about seeing these little kids from that era. It almost makes it like a throwback to something like the Goonies in a way.
It also really needed to be made in that time because it's about making a film, but here in this day and age, every kid has access to a video camera of some sort. You can go and buy $20 and $30 YouTube video cameras at the store.
Yeah.
Anyone, the story of two kids making a movie in this day and age doesn't work. But in 1980, when you actually have to have that big shoulder cam and all this stuff they kind of do to make this film, it's actually really
1980.
cool.
Do you remember back when we were doing the Access show? I think you came in later, but when you were doing it, to go out and shoot something
was insane.
You had not only the camera, but you had not the battery pack, which was huge, which was like a cinder block, and then you had the tape deck, which was pretty much the size of a car.
Yeah,
so,
mind you, this was not 1980.
The only thing bigger than that was Corey's fade. I mean, it was
exactly my high top.
That's your high top with a fade.
When I was about 16 years old, I went out with a Betacam and like the pack you had.
And shot your first porn.
No, I looked like I was like going out camping. It was like a giant camping size backpack filled with electronic equipment you had to carry around with you. This humongous camera. Now that took about as good video as my cell phone.
So that's why this movie is a fantasy, because he only has one camera. Had this kid, if this been real, he would have been having a pickup truck, an SUV to bring that shit out there.
Exactly.
No, you're right, man. It's like you have kids. Like, I'm joking with him, but you got like 6-year-olds making porn these days because it's so easy to do video now. So well, maybe.
Yeah, thanks for that image, Corey.
Yeah, that is pretty
that was something everybody in the
but still, it does make you think that what if he had watched a completely different movie for his first movie? You know, what if it'd been Deep Throat or something?
Oh, see,
Son of Linda Lovelace.
See, you think I'm bad? Now you see, he just took it a step
no,
further.
But even worse is Howard the Duck. Imagine if it had been Howard the Duck. Oh, God. Now, this just wouldn't have had the same resonance.
One of the things that really works for this movie is all the small little character things that are in this film. Like, how awesome is the French kid? I mean, the whole French kid story from beginning to end is just, it's one of those really cool kind of story elements in there that it never would have made its own film, but they give it just enough attention in here that it's just really, really great.
You're exactly right. I mean, you think it's centering on these two little kids, but I hate to use this word, but the whole movie is quirky. They put in all these eccentric characters from this French kid who's probably the most relatable because everybody loves that kid.
Yeah.
Because he's popular. He comes, but he's different, and everybody loves the French talking kid who actually looks like a little girl to me.
Well, it was the new wave period.
Exactly.
He was very hip back then.
I felt bad because I thought that was a chick at first.
I wasn't sure myself until
you felt bad because you thought it was a chick at first. You thought he was hot. And you said,
Yeah.
I would do her.
I didn't know. I did not. Now I thought. now here's what I was saying. I was like, she will be hot in about 4 years.
And then you hear the voice. It's like, wait, that's a dude. I got fooled again.
I know, like, damn, not again. But no, that kid was great. But then
last time I was driving around with Eddie Murphy.
But they had the family with the grandmother who adds a little comedy. I mean, it's a nice little quirky film.
I don't even think so much it's that they're quirky. It's just that they do such a good job of nailing real people, what kids were really like at that exact period of time.
And who doesn't like nailing real people?
Thank you for going there again. But it's not just stereotypes. They really feel like real kids. You know?
Yeah, no. I mean, I will have to say I felt like as much as I was enjoying the emotional ride of this movie, it did get a little bit sappy to me at certain parts. I thought the ending was especially too sappy for me.
It worked for me. I agree with you. It evoked emotion, but I thought it was organic. I didn't feel it was forced at all. And that's the only time things are sappy, when it's artificially forced.
That's what I felt like. I felt like it wrapped itself up a little too nice, and that ending I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a conflict between two relatives in both families, and it just gets wrapped up real nice, just like that. And for this movie, it's appropriate, but I'm just not a big fan of that. But it wasn't enough to draw me out of the movie. Make me not like it any less. So highly recommend this movie to people. It's full price to me.
Yeah, this is absolutely a full price. And like I said, I'm mad at myself. I didn't listen to Carla. He's been telling me for almost a year now, why won't you watch Son of Rambow? Had many chances. Finally sat down and watched it and went, crap. This is really good.
Yeah, now he gets to rub it in your face.
Yeah, the Son of Rambow was great. In fact, did you recognize who the Quaker mother was?
Oh yeah, she's from the show Spaced with directed by Edgar Wright, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah, and she wrote Spaced with Simon Pegg.
Oh, okay.
She's a brilliant comedian in her own right.
Yeah,
I gotta watch this nerdy ass show. Y'all talk about Spaced all the time.
You've never seen Oh my God, Spaced. The thing is we say it's a nerd show, but really it's a movie lover show.
Yeah, it's
every episode is a parody of a different movie, and there's about 50 different parodies sewn in.
And that's where this mom is from in this movie?
Yeah, and she's one of the main characters in Space, which is just one of the funniest dork shows ever made.
I'll take it. All right. So would you? I
give it a full price, dude. This movie's great. This is exactly what it needed to be. It's a really adorable, feel good movie for film lovers.
Yeah, it's one of those words. Every time you want to use a negative word that people don't like, well, it's not negative, but people just don't like to hear it. Adorable, cute. That's what this movie is.
It's totally adorable.
Yeah, and those words apply to this movie in the best way. Okay, now you're just getting too big with these
But once
words.
again, not precocious in the Chris Columbus takes over for John Hughes sort of way late in his career, but in like the real way, like that movie. What's the English movie by the guy who did 28 Days Later? That's like,
Oh, you're thinking Millions
Yeah,
by
Millions.
Danny Boyle.
Like that sort of thing, where they're
no,
real
this is
kids.
exactly what that reminded me of. It felt like Millions.
they're real kids. You know, it's all about their imagination, and it's just this is really well done. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's like they're letting kids be kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And kids are fucking cruel. So
Yeah.
So anyway,
So it ends with the kid version of the Khmer Rouge.
the bully kid actually pulls a Rambo on that other kid.
Yeah, slices
slits his
his
throat.
throat, yeah.
Yeah, eats his guts.
That's the Andy standing there all covered in blood.
Yeah, we just rewrote this movie for the better. It's not so cute anymore, is it? So anyway,
Didn't see
yeah, he stood up
that
there.
one coming.
Yeah, he's all covered in blood. We're like, oh, that's so cute. I love that kid. So anyway, yeah, no, very good movie. We highly suggest it. All right, get on out of here.